We're getting into our communities. So we're going to be talking about the Ofankor and Nsawam Road. And remember that we spoke to the chief engineer on Friday, and he informed us that the road was supposed to be closed from 10 p.m. on Saturday to 10 a.m. on Sunday. But they have extended it through to this morning, and that was from Sunday, 14th December to Sunday this morning through to Sunday, 14th December 2025. And also, while we spoke to him, he also mentioned that they didn't used to communicate with people. They didn't used to send any message to the general public. So on Friday, they released their first communique of the announcement that the road will be closed. But they have actually released another one, which I am going to be reading. And yeah, it says public announcement, continuing diversion of traffic on N6 dual carriageway and Nsawam Road. The general public is informed of the completion of the enabling works at Ofankor, which required the closure of the N6 on Saturday night. The main road will, from Monday, 8 December 2025, be closed to traffic from Ofankor to White House until Sunday, 14th December 2025. The closure of the road is to facilitate the ongoing asphalt work on the section of the road from Ofankor to White House, that's 2 kilometers, as part of the rehabilitation of Ofankor and Nsawam dual carriage project. Traffic will accordingly be diverted onto the service road from Ofankor overpass to White House during this period. We appreciate your support during the closure of the road from New Plan on 6th December 2025 and seek your cooperation for the continuation. Motorists are advised to adhere to the traffic directional signs to be provided. Any inconvenience to the general public is deeply regretted, and this is issued by the project team. And there you have it. That's the announcement they have put out there for the general public. And if you're not on that road yet and you're watching us right now and you're thinking, or maybe you have something to go on that side, there you have it. You should actually adhere to what they have put out there. Now, interestingly and luckily for us, Philip is on the ground, and Philip Nilate, my co-host, definitely is going to be taking us through everything that is happening there. I have questions. So one of my major questions is, they said this was going to last from Saturday night till Sunday, but the extension to next week Sunday, I want to know why it has been extended to, next week Sunday, and I'm sure the public also wants to know why it has been extended till Sunday. Anyway, Philip, can you hear me?
Good morning, I can hear you, Chris.
Hi,
good
Philip. How are you?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm fine, thank you. All right, so Philip, before I let you take us through everything that is happening there, remember we spoke to the chief engineer on Friday, and he told us that this closure was going to be from Saturday till Sunday. But now we are seeing the communique, and it's extended till Sunday the 14th. What's going on? What's the reason?
So there are two different diversions. Let's say from one diversion to another. The communique that came out from that of us from Saturday evening, that was 10 p.m. to Sunday morning, that is 10 a.m., was a different communique. Right. And that was the closure from New Plan through to White House. So some sort of asphalt work will be done, or enabling works will be done. But for today's own, which is today's diversion, in the communique to what is going to happen on Sunday, it's a different one. That is just like a 2-kilometer stretch from Ofankor to White House. So there are two different diversions. That of Saturday to Sunday is completed, and they are starting what they are doing today, which is Monday to Sunday's own. So there are two different diversions. And mind you, like you indicated earlier, we are on the grounds to give viewers the full picture of what really it is, and also the details of the diversion and what motorists will be expecting later in the evening when they are moving from their various workplaces to their destinations, that is their boats or their homes, because most people reside around Pokuase, Amasaman, Toman, Sapeman, Kuntunse, all through to Nsawam. So it tells you the volume of people who use the stretch every now and then. But fortunately for us, we have the senior project manager on the project here with us, that is Engineer Abdullah Mahama. We'll be having a brief conversation with him, and he'll also be showing you the work that is being done this morning through to next week. So Engineer, you can join me quickly. Let's have a brief conversation. Good morning, and how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
I trust you're doing well.
I'm fine.
How is the work going? This morning, I was moving from Ablekuma to Ofankor, and trust me, the traffic situation at White House totally improved. I'm sure you can just spend a second to just drive through that stretch. What's the magic?
Okay. Well, good morning to your cherished viewers. In the morning, what you saw was because of what we did within the week. Initially, we closed the main Accra.
So we can take a walk as we see what is happening on the stretch and
so
all that.
we closed the main Accra leg, which is the main road, as normal Ghanaian parlance will be. And so when we closed that side, the traffic was moved onto the service lane, which means that we are bringing a 4-lane or 5-lane from Pokuase to a 2-lane. Yeah. If we don't do that, we cannot finish the road. So we had to close the main road and then finish the wearing with the last asphaltic binder course, the concrete course, and then provide the line marking so that it will show where each car would have to drive through. And so that was a necessary evil. But eventually, when over the weekend you heard from last week Friday that Saturday we were closing the Ofankor road, so we can finish the Accra leg, the Accra bound proper. As we speak, the Accra main had been completed from at least from Ofankor to White House, which is about 2.1 kilometers, fully complete with the wearing, and then the line markings have been marked on the road, and they are installing even the information signs. And then on the service lane, about 90% of the line markings had been done as well. We have just left a small detour at the Ofankor Zero, where we are now diverting from the main to the service, or the service to the main. When we are done with the Pokuase leg, that's the northbound, we will move the traffic short to the main road, and then maybe within the night, the same as we did last 2 days, it will take about maybe 2 hours, and we'll finish the line marking at that small stretch. And it means that voila, the Accra leg from White House to Pokuase and to Ofankor is done. Then we are now doing the Ofankor towards Pokuase or the White House as well. That's the northbound. So for the southbound, largely, I can give you a percentage of about 98% done. As for the road, we are done. We are done with the line markings. The line markings just have about 2% to be completed at the extreme edge at Ofankor 00. And they will say that they are installing the information signs and the warning signs on that stretch of the road. Wow. So that's it. And now we are on the northbound. So as we move down there, I'll show you why we had to necessarily divert the road. In fact, on Saturday, we closed traffic around 10 midnight. But because of safety considerations, we didn't start the work until 12. So that at least some recalcitrant drivers or some people who may not have heard will try to still enter the Achimota new plan towards the Ofankor proper in the main carriageway. So we're making sure that within that 2 hours, everything would have been dealt with. There were a lot of police presence that were engaged. So at 12 midnight, we kickstart the work, and then we were able to do about 400 meters of where we really wanted to do, so that we can now open that side to traffic from Ofankor from Achimota to Ofankor, so that the traffic will not build from that place to Testano, but rather come and accommodate within the Moose Junction, Taifa, Tantra area, and then when they get to Ofankor after the break, they will move into the service lane. So that's what we are going to show you now. So within the week, it's day and night, from the Ofankor stretch all the way to White House, would have connected to the existing Pokuase interchange. So when you are from Achimota, your next stop is the Amasaman. We have a small area that is left, that is around the Festus. But the reason why the Festus is left is because we are waiting for the policy for us to know the kind of traffic toll plaza system
so that's why we see that Festus has been left like that, because people have also been questioning why you've left Festus and maybe some attention is not being given.
So that is why every now and then we go to just improve the surface, awaiting the policy implementation. You can't go and put the wearing there or the asphalt and then you come and remove it. You have to get the design before you move into the site to go and do what is supposed to be done. That's why I think it's about a 700-meter stretch. Yes.
So as we speak right now, the asphalting has started, and that is what we can see there. Maybe you'd want to take us through the process briefly, and you tell us what really the exercise is about. So Engineer Mahama will just explain to us what you can see behind us and the exercise that is ongoing there. So Engineer Mahama, let's stand here so that the viewers can see, appreciate what is going on. So just share with us what is happening behind us.
So what we have here now, you can see there are two similar machines. They are the pavers. They are the ones that are used to lay the asphalt. And if you can just turn and show something behind him here, there's the machine that has the bitumen, that's the taco that is supposed to use as a bonding agent on the surface before the asphalt is laid. And so we have two pavers. We don't want to delay. So we are moving two pavers from Ofankor all the way to where, so that we'll finish in no time. We are giving ourselves a week. If you're able to finish before the week, I mean, the earlier the better for Ghana. So that the contractor does not in any way want to inconvenience motorists and pedestrians alike who are actually, we are entering the Christmas festive seasons, and already Accra is choked. So the person would go to Accra, and when he's coming in the evening, he comes to meet another choke, especially when he's moving towards outside Accra proper in the night, and it comes to be in about 1 hour, 2 hours traffic. It's something that no contractor would want to have. That's why we have two of the pavers. Now, they are bringing the asphalt from Amasaman yard. Then when the tipper trucks come, they tip into the two pavers. And then the pavers are laid with a uniform thickness. So that you can see that there are some holes on the drains. Those holes are the people that carry the water on the surface of the road into the drain. So there's a drainage there that goes to the low-lying area of Ofankor, which is intercepted, and then it moves towards the adjoining streams, and then these Gary projects drains that are around Ofankor towards Asofan and towards Mile 7 and Tantra area.
So it's a good work you're doing. But the question is it going to be a day and night thing in a way? Put in like, is it going to be a 24-hour work you're going to do here?
If you were here the last week, you have noticed that all the work that were done here were day and night. In fact, we are here on, let me say, even before we did the diversion. So the one that doesn't need the diversion, I mean, that doesn't need the public attention, we didn't let them know. But when we realized that we need to do a major diversion from Achimota, we had to come and do that. So people who were flying this route got to know that the contractor worked from the night. So let me see, when we announced on Friday that we'll be closing the traffic on Saturday. So Saturday night at 10 o'clock, I said we closed the traffic at Achimota, new plan. And then by 12, we started the works all through to like 3, 4 a.m. We're done with the asphalt. We had to let it set. The temperature has to drop so that when we are putting the line markings on it, these are like thermoplastic material. So when you put another material which will be affected negatively or be consumed or be swallowed by heat, you have to make sure that when the asphalt is laid at the temperature of maybe 150, 160, it has to come below 30, or let me say room temperature or environment temperature, because the temperature that the asphalt is laid is in a certain high temperatures, so that you can have it malleable to lay and compact. But once that is done, you have to let the material cool down, then the line markers will be applied. So when we finished on time, we had to wait for like 3 hours, water the road. We brought our water tankers to come and water the road so that we'll get a very appreciable temperature before the line markings were done. So the line markings were done, and then from Ofankor 0 to about 300, there was a link that will bring the traffic from the White House, which were all stuck in the service lane, to the Ofankor proper. So we quickly did that side and we watered the road, the line markings, so we can get a certain temperature to cool before we diverted the traffic. Then we continue with the line marking. And then the whole night, yesterday night, we were actually doing the line markings on the Accra direction proper. We finished like 8:39 p.m. So it means that the team has been here from Saturday 10 p.m. to yesterday almost 10 p.m. and we had to wait and make sure that the temperature was within appreciable or acceptable limit. And we brought in a machine to be stationed at White House, so that around 4 a.m. expected traffic on a Monday from the hinterland or from Amasaman coming to Accra, the traffic was open. So we make some few mistakes sometimes you have to correct and improve. And that's why we didn't bring the machine at 5 o'clock, but the machine was stationed there at 2. Then 4 o'clock, 4 a.m., we opened the place to traffic. That's why you came there this morning and you were so excited.
And with the explanation that Engineer Mahama has given, I think I need to take an engineering course to become an engineer. This is amazing. But let's now take you through what will be happening at the back there. Maybe you can stand here briefly, and if the cameraman can zoom to the end where the diversion has been done, okay. What is likely to happen before this particular place, that is the Ofankor end, before the diversion happens? Is there going to be a gridlock?
Okay, normally, as we enter into any construction area, we'll have some of these bottlenecks, partly as a result of the construction, as a result of some diversions, or even sometimes as a result of the rush hour in the evenings. Ordinarily, if you are reducing a traffic of a 4-lane to a 2-lane, there's a certain level of volume of traffic that will be expected in the evening. That is why we have kept the constant information disseminated, so that people who may have other alternative routes, maybe somebody is coming from Hacho, you want to come towards Taifa and connect here, he can go through the Hacho ACP and then connect to Pokuase interchange without coming here. Others who have the luxury of using Pobiman and then be able to go through Asofa area and then connect to Awoshi Road would have to use that one. Somebody is coming from Kwashiman, you want to come to the Achimota and move on this road, but because of the information, so at least maybe 30% estimated traffic or so, depending on however it would move on other routes, so that we will be able to control the traffic in the evenings, mostly from 4 in the evening of 3:30 all the way to like 8 o'clock. We have some traffic in this section, so we can get the traffic a bit reduced when the information has actually gone far and Ghanaians have bought into it. That's why we have to say that what has happened, first and foremost, we need to thank the citizenry, the pedestrians, motorists alike, who ply this route every day for their patience, and the fact that they were able to keep pace with the contractor, and we didn't hear or see any driver. I mean, you know, some of them how they can, even the commercial drivers, I say they have done well. The information has gone far, and they have also appreciated. First, yesterday when we were working, a lot of them were like, and I told them by tomorrow, which is today, a lot of the areas from Ofankor to Taifa will be open to traffic.
Is there any measure to say that when motorists are moving from the stretch, there will be, say, a traffic warden, MTCD, to divert them?
Just like what we did 2 days ago at Achimota, the same thing will happen this week. Today, you can see those guys in their reflectors. Others are just working. We know the peak time. So the peak time by 4 or so, the police and the traffic wardens will be there with adequate information signs. So the information signs is starting about 500 meters away. Apart from the fact that we have gone on social media, we are going to some electronic media who are making, disseminating information on our behalf. We are not leaving anything to chance, because somebody would not have heard. Somebody will not be listening to Channel 1 or listening to CT. Somebody is just driving from somewhere and is coming. So adequate information will be provided 500 meters away on the existing Achimota Ofankor Road, diversion signs, information signs, slow down signs, warning signs that you are approaching a diverted area, and then the wardens will be in hand to provide additional information to the motorists who will be in the place. But I can bet you that the rate at which I've seen my team work with the two gang machines on this stretch, I'm not too sure that
You go more than the 4 days.
yes. So it was a 1 week group that we are giving. So we don't want to finish the road with all the inconveniences, and then we'll come and close the road again, and then come and do the line markings. So who can want to know
Yeah.
So we'll just finish the asphalt, and then once we are getting acceptable temperatures, the line markings will continue. So I'm sure that tomorrow or a day after tomorrow, when the wearing is almost at the White House, you will see that the white line will be keeping pace with chasing the asphalt being laid on that side.
But now that you'll be having traffic wardens, you'll be having MTTD officers and all that, I'm sure maybe a motorist is watching or somebody's watching in his or her office and thinking that, okay, fine, that there should be a word to the motorists because they have to comply. As the senior project manager, what do you have to say to motorists?
I have constructed a lot of roads in the country, and sadly, whenever we are finishing the roads from the initially bad state to a very good state, we record a lot of accidents. Some of the drivers, the Gen Zs, are also part of it. That's where they want to go and try the speed. Their cars, whether the cars can do 150, 160. I'm sorry, this road is designed for an 80-kilometer speed limit. But obviously, when I stand on the road, I see the machine there, the guy we are seeing people doing 140 kilometers within the towns. So it's only proper that the motorists will be guided. Lift your leg off your paddle. It's always very important so that you get home. If you have to spend another 10 minutes to get home, it's very important. One other thing that has been worrying all of us is the construction limits. Let me be very emphatic on it. Everywhere across the globe, construction limit is mostly 30 kilometers per hour. What it means is that you cannot go beyond 30 kilometers per hour. Ironically, our 30 kilometers per hour here is a starter.
Yeah.
And so on the good stretch, people will not see the negative effect of going beyond the 30 per hour. When you get to Amasaman proper, where we are here to tar the section, and you go past Amasaman, you get to Sapema, another section which is because of the footbridge and the flyover that we are doing, and you get to Media satellite area going towards Hebron, Dubro, to the Nsawam area where we are now doing proper earthworks. If you stay within a certain limit, even 40 kilometers per hour, you will not generate the kind of dust that we are generating. And the fact is that the wisdom behind the 30 kilometers per hour is that you may be confronted suddenly with an excavation work ongoing, a machine turning. Even though the adequate information are there, somebody will be turned because of the dust. You may not see the signs. It doesn't mean that the contractor is not watering the road. We have enough water about this. Now that some of the areas have been tarred, it means that hitherto, let me say, if an area, every area was supposed to be having one, every kilometer was supposed to have one water bowser. Now that we have done quite a substantial length, it means that we have more concentration of the water bowsers in the area where we have not done the asphalt works currently. So it's
All right. Okay, so it seems like we've lost them and we are sorting out their sound right now. But this is what is going on at the Ofankor Nsawam Road, and I'm so glad that the work is ongoing. And listening to the contractor, it seems like, you know, everything is going to be going at the pace which they have promised. And yeah, it's looking beautiful already. And kudos to each and every one of them putting in their all to finish this road as soon as possible so motorists can be free and enjoy themselves while riding on this road. But I also like the fact that he said that even though this road will be fixed and people will want to, you know, try their try their speeds on everything, please do not try your speeds on it because it has a limited speed limit which you should respect. And I think it's 80 kilometers per hour. So don't go there trying to test your new car's speed or trying to push to see how far your car can go. And a lot of people who like to race on newly fixed roads like this, please do not do that. Please do not do that. Don't put yourself into any harm or put others in harm's way just because you want to fulfill your fantasy of driving like Michael Schumacher. But yeah, this is what's going on at the Ofankor Nsawam Road right now. But if you're watching us right now if you're watching us right now and want to share your thoughts on it and messages, please use the number on the screen, send it via WhatsApp, and we'll get to read it on the show. If you're on the road right now and probably watching us via YouTube, you can also send your messages, you can send your pictures in, and we will get to read it on the show. And remember that this road closure is going to be starting from today till the 14th of December. And like Philip stated, it's not the same road which they communicated to us. Is a different diversion. And this one is going to be lasting from now, that is today, till Sunday the 14th. The one which they announced on Friday has already been sorted, which they closed the road from Sunday. From Saturday night until Sunday morning, that's 10 a.m. So this is a 2-kilometer stretch, and it's from the Ofankor to White House area. So if you're going to be using that road, you will be diverted onto the service road from Ofankor overpass to White House. So tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that the roads will be closed. And we're still in our communities, focused on the Ofankor Nsawam Road diversion. And as you all know, Philip Nilate is actually on ground, and he's taking us through everything that we need to know about this road diversion. We've seen the communique, and now he's on ground telling us everything that is going through. Hi, Philip.
Hi, Chris. So we are back again.
Yes, we lost you.
That the diversion is the work on the road is going on steadily. It's moving progressively, and that we would want to show our viewers what is happening now. As engineer Abdullah Mahama will explain what really is happening here with us here on the stretch. So, engineer, what we can see now on the stretch, explain to us. And I just saw this happening within a short period.
Yes. So. From this side where the workers are just trying to, that's the transition between what was done yesterday, Saturday night to Sunday morning to Tuesday and Monday. So that's why they are trying to level the joints so that you will not have that kind of bumps when you get to the place. And then the last layer, like I said, within about 2 minutes, we are laid about a 10-meter stretch. So when the other tipper trucks come, this one will also follow and also have the same. We don't want to have to create a lot of joints in the asphalt so that when you are driving, you don't hear that pa sound as many as possible.
So it's supposed to be smooth.
The joint has to be very, very smooth. That's why we start to lay at the same time with the same temperature. We're able to lay so that we don't leave any joints to come and continue the next day. So that's what they are doing now. We are finished with this one. if you're able to record a very good temperature by close of day, like I told you, tomorrow the line marking would also continue. If you're able to attain about 1 kilometer today, I'm sure, like I said, we'll be able to finish this thing maybe by Thursday thereabout or Wednesday, so that the line markings. Yes, so that's about 150 degrees Celsius minimum. Yes.
That's very hot.
Yes, so sometimes.
Beyond boiling point.
Yes. So that is what we need before. So when it starts to reduce at around 120 or so, then the loader, you see some machines at the back, they are the compactors. They will be used to compact. There's a tie roller and a steel roller. They will be used intermittently to compact the surface to get the desired compaction, so that we have to leave. In the compaction, you don't do it excessive. There's something we call the air voids. The asphalt is supposed to be allowed to breathe. So the percentage of air entrapped in the asphalt also helps in that process. So in the longer term, when the road is reaching its design lifespan, that's where a lot of the entrapped air would have evaporated. You start to see a lot of the alligator cracks on the surface. So, but that's what we are doing now. So everything that is being done here, after the compaction, the lab engineers will come and take a core. They come and core the road, take a sample to the lab to see whether the compaction was done exactly how we expected.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So if there's any variation, then they will vary. They will change the level of the compaction. But these are all been tried. What they do is that we normally do a trial up the road to get all these benchmarks before we move onto the main road. So we don't come and doing try and error on the every road project, because of the fact that we don't have one unique material, gravel or the chippings at one place. You have to run the same process. The tests have to be conducted to get the exact range of how to do your work on the certain stretch you're having.
Philip.
So that's why the other track is back. So the other one is moving. The second one is about to also move with the same rate at which they are moving.
Philip.
Chris, I can hear you. Chris, I can hear you.
Yes, we want to ask him that coming from Accra, you know the China Mall is on the left side. So is there a way for people to cross to the China Mall?
Okay. We'll ask him that as part of the mini question that people are asking. People are asking a lot of questions. You are doing a very good job here at the Ofankor side of the stretch, but I'm sure that Amasaman, you will have a challenge there beyond and all that. But a question that just came through is that how do people cross to China Mall? What is really the measure put in place to ensure that there is that free movement of pedestrians when they are crossing from one side to the other?
So on the project we have designated footbridges. Now let me be very clear with these footbridges. When we do our design, we had a certain number of footbridges to be constructed. The contractor didn't take, or both the contractor and the contractor didn't just identify some places and went ahead to do the installation of the footbridges. They engaged the various assemblies, the opinion leaders of the assemblymen and women presiding at the West Committee of the Assembly, and then we showed them the locations that we have the limited footbridges to be installed. And then they went on the road with us and they confirmed some of the areas we have to shift maybe slightly forward or back because of the history or the population at the place that mostly move across the road. So ordinarily, if we want to say we have maybe footbridges everywhere, everybody would like to have a foot, but we can't have that on the highway. So the limited ones we have to go through the process so that we'll not finish a road and then we'll have identified footbridges constructed in the road on the contractor or the consultant's own sole motor, and people wouldn't be using them. So for the Amasaman flyover, there is a runabout underneath, just like what we have at Amasaman. But they have raised their issues, and I'm sure that the powers that be are dealing with the issue. Whenever they come to the contractor, I think any other thing that is outside our scope that's supposed to be added will be done.
And also with the interchange at Amasaman, we know that when you are done with this diversion and you are done with the entire road, it's going to be very free here, sort of vehicular movement, and it may end up at Amasaman. What is really the plan there, and also any challenge you are facing there currently?
No, for now, it's because we are doing a process, which is for the bridge works, which is largely concrete and then iron rods, and let me say the formwork. You can increase the gang, but the process had to be met. The designed concrete strength achieved time must be adhered to, so that you can have the concrete attaining the right strength. There will not be any major problem when we get to Amasaman when the road is done. You will move from Festus Fise. When you get to Amasaman, you veer off to the Stadium Road. There's a design that brings you back. If you want to move to the Amasaman town from that side, there's a mini roundabout at the Stadium Road. That's where we're going to do that affordable housing project. That area has a roundabout that connects you back to the Amasaman interchange. The other issues that we had there, I'm sure, I don't know the other questions that are coming, but Amasaman, for instance, the hawkers.
Oh, they are really troubling you?
Yes, they are giving us a hell of a time. As we speak, we have engaged the police, we have our safety team. Every now and then you go there, you dismantle their temporary tables and everything. The next hour you are out of the place, they are back. The next morning they are like, you didn't even do any activity there. We have to be very meticulous in balancing. We don't just have to go there aggressively and just go and destroy their things. But we are constantly educated. But the traffic, as we see there, mostly sometimes is from the hawkers, and because the footbridge there is almost completed. I did a video on that side, I think last week, Thursday. Just the footbridge has been completed. A lot of people prefer to cross under the footbridge, Amasaman. If you are from Festus going towards Amasaman, there's a footbridge before the flyover, the interchange. It's, let me say, 90% done.
All right, so as you can see, that's the Ofankor Nsawam Road diversion, and we've been getting update from Philip Nilate, who is actually on the ground, and he has been speaking to one of the head engineers that is actually in charge of that road. And as you all know, the road is going to be closed from today till Sunday, 14th December 2025, and it's from the Ofankor to White House, and it's a 2-kilometer stretch, and it's all part of the rehabilitation of Ofankor Nsawam dual carriage project. And please look out for the signages on the roads, respect the diversions, because it's already been announced that this is going to be going on from today to the 14th. So please, as you're driving on the road, look out for any signages, diversions, and respect them to avoid any problems. So we are trying to get Philip on the line again, and as we are trying to get him, this is what is happening right now on the Ofankor Nsawam Road diversion. So this is live from the Ofankor Nsawam Road diversion, or the project going on right there, sorry. And as you can see, it's them putting on the asphalt. The asphalt work is ongoing. And the engineer has also promised that this will be done in due time for normal activities to resume on the road. And just like Philip, I'm also amazed with the speed at which the work is going and how beautiful it's beginning to look. Remember, you can send in your messages for us to share on the show, or if you have any questions for the engineer, you can send in those messages via the WhatsApp number and we will get to read it on the show and also ask the engineer. Hi, all right, so now it's time for us to speak to Engineer Bempong. I remember that we spoke to Engineer Bempong on Friday and he even alerted us about, the communication that will be going around, and he is the chief resident engineer. So let's ask him about what's going on right now at the Ofankor Nsawam Road. Hi, Mr. Bempong.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, you're welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we had a conversation with you on Friday, and
Yes.
you actually alerted us that there was going to be some work to be done on that road on, I think, Saturday night till Sunday morning at 10 a.m. But it seems like there's another work going on right now. Can you break it down to us as to what's going on and if it's linked to the first one?
Yes, thank you very much, and good morning to your cherished viewers. So indeed, I put out a notice alerting motorists and the general public that we're going to close the road from the New Plan Junction or the New Plan intersection all the way to Ofankor, so that we can do what I call the enabling work. There's a section just after the overpass which required that we put on the next layer of asphalt. And if you remember, I did say that this was to enable us divert the traffic from the main carriageway onto the service road. The service road we have been able to finish and we have marked. So we were able to do that on Saturday evening, all throughout the night for 12 hours, and we opened to traffic early in the morning of Sunday. Now, having done that, we are now able to divert the traffic and to continue with the asphalting from Ofankor that is on the northbound that is going to Nsawam all the way to White House Junction. And we have put out another notice saying that this is going to take probably by Saturday, Sunday, it should be completed. So as of now, that section of the road has been closed to traffic. But then once we get there, we have traffic wardens, we have people who will direct it so that you smoothly transition it onto the service road at Ofankor and then drive through John Tay all the way to back to the main road after the White House Junction. So basically that is what we are doing.
All right, and with the timeline that you've given, is it a giving that it's going to be done by the 14th of December 2025? It's not going to pass that time?
Never. That is a given. That is a given. You see, what we are doing is that we are using two pavers that is doing the echelon paving. So everything is done, simultaneously. And it takes some time to do that. But however, we are very confident that by the set date we would have finished the paving and even finished with the road line marking. If it were just left with the paving, we could have finished within 3 days. Mm-hmm. However, we want to ensure that once we are done, we would mark the pavement with all our road line markings, just to improve the safety, especially at night. Mm-hmm. Yes, so that is what we are doing. So that you can be sure we are going to push the contractors to ensure that we complete by the set time.
All right, so looking at the road on the screen, it looks very beautiful. Very beautiful, and I must say congratulations to the team and to you for all the hard work that you are putting on it. But I have one question. The quality, is it going to last for long? We hope it's not going to be one of those that it just looks beautiful and at the end of the day wears out at some very short period of time.
Okay, so well, that is a good concern, and as consultants, we have also ensured that the contractor is working within specification. Now, these pavements are designed, one, for a certain load carrying capacity, and the load carrying capacity, unfortunately, is not in the number of years. However, it is calculated to ensure that if we receive the loading as anticipated, and when I say loading from heavy trucks, okay, with standard loads, then within, it should last us for 15 years. Now, the challenge that we have had, especially on the roads in Ghana, is the fact that a lot of these vehicles are overloaded. They come in with axle weight or axle loads in excess of what has been designed. And once that happens, then that reduces the longevity of the road. The other one has to do with the way in which our roads are used. Some people put jacks, okay? You know, when you have a car tied back or something, nobody is saying that you shouldn't do it on the road. But then you are supposed to put a plank of wood that will help distribute the load onto the asphaltic pavement. If you put a jack, that metal base with a small surface area directly on top of the road, you are going to puncture it. And once you puncture, that is the beginning of a pothole.
Right.
And then there will be, deterioration of the pavement. The next one has to do with using fuel. Somebody's vehicle breaks down, especially the big trucks. They break down on the road, and then they will be repairing the truck on the road and pouring diesel, brake fluids, petrol on these, asphaltic roads. Remember that asphalt is made from bitumen, and the little chemistry that we know is that the bitumen will be dissolved by the petrol or by the diesel. Once that happens, when the sun is up, the whole thing, virtually dissolves.
Right.
With a small vehicle, side passing, it picks up 1 grain of asphalt. Continuously, you would have deteriorated. So there are reasons why sometimes we have these things. Because to the best of our ability, we have designed these pavements to last us at least 15 years.
Right. Okay.
The last one is that it's
Okay.
about maintenance. It's about maintenance. You see, when these roads are completed, yes, it's something that has been constructed. However, there's a need for us to continuously maintain our roads. If we don't maintain our roads and we allow, water, which is the number one enemy of roads, then that is going to cause a deterioration. So, you see, there are myriad of issues that we need to consider to ensure that our roads, stay longer than we have seen in the past.
Right. This might not be a question for you, but of course you're an engineer and you are also part of the circle when it comes to road building and also things about the road. So who's in charge of, making sure that all these things that you've talked about does not happen on our roads?
Well, thank you. That's also a very good one. There's something we call the 4 E's. Okay. The first E is about the engineering, and that is where I come in.
Yeah.
And which has to do with the design, the construction, quality assurance, quality control, and everything about it. The next one has to do with the enforcement.
Right.
After we have finished, somebody has to ensure that the things that I mentioned do not happen, and that falls clearly, within security services. And here I'm talking about the police, whether it is the MTTB
Right.
or whoever. You have to ensure that this, and of course, those who are also within the municipalities and the metropolitan assemblies and district assemblies also have a role to play.
Right.
And we, the citizenry, also have a role. When you see something, don't just go by and think that, well, this doesn't concern me. Okay? Now, the next one has to do with, I think I've mentioned, I have not mentioned education. And I'm happy that Channel 1 TV and CCTV have taken upon themselves to ensure that we don't just talk about politics, but then we educate the public or the traveling public about some of these things. So the opportunity that you are giving to me to speak to the entire country and probably those who are far off is very good, because sometimes you don't know. So, okay, so this is about education, and this is a very good medium to educate the public. So when you see it, you say, hey, this is what the engineer spoke about. And the last one has to do with the emergency services. When there's an emergency on the road, maybe there's an accident or a vehicle breaking down, these vehicles must not be allowed to stay in the road, because that could also lead to the deterioration, that because they then have to go and repair. And when they repair, then they destroy our roads. So these are the 4 E's, and each and every E has somebody who has to take responsibility.
Right. So engineering, enforcement, education, and emergencies.
Thank you.
All right. So now we know the 4 E's, and I think we should all be abreast with this. And everything engineer is saying just means that we are all involved in, keeping our roads right and for it to last longer. But engineer, I've noticed something. You have been putting out communiques, although it's just 2 that we are seeing now. It usually doesn't happen, but it's great that it's happening to keep the public informed. Why did you decide that, okay, now it's important for us to keep the public informed with each step that we are taking, especially if these steps are going to, hinder their movement or things they have to do along the roads that we are working on?
I wish you wouldn't have asked me that question. But then, we've had some internal challenges. But, I am the chief resident engineer, which is more like a project director. We have resident engineers, we have the contractor, and this is something that falls within the purview of the contractor. And we are supposed to have a traffic management plan, which is actually sent to us. We check and we approve it, and that is what it is implemented. But then the challenge that we've had is communicating with the public. We have not done well so far as that is concerned, and I have always been chasing. So with this particular one, because it was also going to affect areas beyond our road, especially if we block the road at New Plant, that could tail back into Atimota Old Road and go all the way to Ofankor. It was important that we do that. But then going forward, you can be sure that we will continue to partner you, because that's why initially probably we didn't really know how we were going to reach out. But then, as I mentioned, your 2 stations have taken keen interest. You have it on your news bulletin. You have it. It's all over. Even for you to come to site to do a breakfast show there, I am super excited, and it gives us the opportunity and the desire to continuously engage the public, using this medium, and of course using the social media too, which is a new media.
All right, thank you so much. Well done. And any final words to the public?
Well, my final words to the public, which I have always said, is that we are the long-suffering motorists and public, or those who use the road. We know that before you can have an omelette, there's a need for you to break an egg. Unfortunately for us, we do not have too many, we do not have what we call diversion routes, alternative routes to use. Yes, there are some routes that you can go through Awoshi or go through, the Tema motorway. Sorry, not the motorway. You can go through the N1 and then circumvent our route. But then those areas are also choked. So we will plead with them that whenever these bulletins are put out there, you should try and obey the traffic, rules. There are some people who they see that there's a blockage with a little bit of traffic, then they start going around and just shooting, and that creates a whole lot of chaos. It creates a whole lot of chaos. And I also want to plead that we be patient with us. There are so many people who go about on social media insulting and doing all sorts of things. Of course, I will forgive them, because sometimes it is out of ignorance, out of frustration. I am also, and I always say that I live on the corridor, so I'm also frustrated. But then we do not take out our frustration on individuals or on companies who are trying to do a good job. So this is my simple please to all our motorists. And I know, like the chief will say, you better with you action or pay. And see, whilst we wait and we push, we have been given a marching order by the President of the Republic. And that is what we are engaged in. That is what our mission is, to be able to complete this road within the shortest possible time.
All right.
This is all that I would like to say for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer Kwabena Bempong, who's the Chief Resident Engineer of the Ofankor Nsawam Road Diversion. And you heard everything that he said. And also, he actually gave a shout out to us for always educating the public and keeping the public abreast with issues that have to do with the road. And as you all know, Philip Nilate is actually there, and he has been reporting about everything going on there. He also got a chance to speak to one of the head engineers working on that road. That's Engineer Mahama, who is no new face to Channel 1 TV or City 97.3 FM. Thank you so much for the update. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, the show continues.